Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Mom Doc Travels. Today I want to share with you some top tips for flying with kids and also share with you what my kids packed in their carry-on bag for our recent flight. I definitely have been traveling with my kids for a long time. I think my first flight with my oldest daughter was when she was an infant, about 7 months of age. And over those years, I have definitely found what works and what doesn't work with flying with kids. So I hope to share some of that with you all today. The first tip I want to say is parents, give yourself grace. Flying with kids is not easy. It can be very daunting, very overwhelming at first, especially if you're new to flying. But don't let that stop you from bringing your kids along and experiencing the world together. So, tip number one, be prepared. What does that mean? Think about the destination that you're going to be flying to and all that you might need both there and during your flight. If you are unprepared, it's definitely going to make your trip a lot more stressful. So I always start by making a list of the things that I want to take, that I'll need when I arrive to my destination, and also what I'll need in flight, just going through the airport. Once you have your list, take out all of your bags. Take out anything that you think that you're going to use during your flight. On our most recent flight, and really for every flight I've taken with my kids, I allow them to be a part of the process. So that's tip number two. Involve your children. Kids really do learn from us adults, and we want to involve them and teach them as we go. Since my kids were about 2 or 3, I let them pick out their own backpack, something that they could handle and manage on their own. And I let them pick what they wanted to put in their backpack, things that they would want to play with in flight. Of course, as your kids get older, they're going to have more say in what they want to use to keep themselves entertained. But it definitely helps them to get excited about the trip and to get them involved in the process. It also teaches them responsibility, knowing that they have to carry their own weight through the airport. The third thing I want to share is that TSA PreCheck and Clear are programs that you can register online before you fly that can allow you to breeze through airport security. It can be really overwhelming to think about having to take out all of your devices, take off of your shoes and belts and all of these things as you go through airport security. But with TSA PreCheck or Clear, it allows you to bypass the long lines, waiting with whiny children, and streamline that process with minimal interruption. The fourth thing I will share is making sure that each child has everything that they need in their own backpack within arm's reach. It can be really disruptive to other people on your flight if you are trying to pass things over the seat back in front of you, or over the seat back behind you, or reaching across the aisle. That's not always feasible. So try to make sure that anything your kid may need in flight is within arm's reach in their own backpack or in your carry-on bag. One thing I want to share that we used for the very first time on our recent flight a few weeks ago was this wonderful lap tray from IKEA. This has really come in handy, and I can see us using this again for road trips in the future because it serves a lot of purposes. On one side, it's a soft cushioned material that the kids can use to sit on their lap as kind of a desk. On the other side, it's a hard surface that they could use for a writing pad or also a tray if they're in the car or even on the aircraft. It allows them to clip a piece of paper under this clipboard here or set a pencil in this little pencil ridge, which is really neat. My favorite feature of this is that it has a three-sided zipper, which is great because on the inside, they can organize all of their items very easily. On the top, there's a zippered section that my girls use for stickers and crayons. They can put colored pencils, pens, or pencils up top. And on the bottom, lots of space with an elastic kind of band here to tuck away papers and other little things they picked up along the way. And when we were done, we stuffed it full and zipped it right back up. And it has a really comfortable carry handle that allowed the kids to kind of take this wherever we needed to go. So this is a really great thing that I found, and I'll link this to IKEA's website where I bought it online. The other thing that you have to keep in mind is what is light and easy. And these little doodle boards that you can find at any store like Target or Walmart are great. This particular one came from Amazon, but it comes with a little pen that pops out of its little holder, and it allows the kids to draw whatever they like, and then very quickly with the push of a button, erase it. So this is a great thing to always fly with. This is great for toddlers because it's virtually indestructible. So it does help to save on colored pencils or crayons or markers because they can kind of color and draw it right on this tablet. And it's so thin, I hope you guys can see that, and light, that makes it really easy to travel with. Another thing my kids have really been into lately are these rainbow scratch off papers. So again, thin, light, small. Parents, think about that when you're flying. You want to take as little as possible, but will still maximize the entertainment for kids in flight. These come with a little pencil. They can draw, they can color in here, and this can really keep them occupied for a long time. Of course, parents of toddlers know that stickers save the day. So for my kids, when they were small, we used to use a lot of stickers. I would go to the Dollar Tree and pick up stickers, something similar to this, and stickers would entertain my girls for hours on end. And this, again, thin, light, easy to carry, doesn't take up much space. So this is definitely a must-have for flying with kids of any age. Parents of kids who are a little bit older, maybe school age kids, you might want to pick up some of these books at the Dollar Tree. These are crossword puzzles, word searches, coloring books. These, again, are thin, pretty light, and easy to travel with to keep kids occupied. You never know when traveling, not just on an aircraft, but where you might be stuck in a line, stuck to have to be waiting, even at dinner. Those are things they can carry with them to keep them entertained. Okay, the most important thing I will say in this entire video is now, and that is snacks. Parents of kids, you know you cannot leave the house without having some sort of snack or food, because no matter where you are, if your kids are like mine, they're going to ask, when am I eating? Mommy, I'm hungry. Can I have something to eat? So I always make sure to pack my little snacks. If you guys saw my what's in my carry-on bag video, I showed you how I organize my own carry-on bag, but this is one of those mesh pouches from my own personal bag. What I typically do is put some snacks in each of the girls' book bags, so they have their own snacks to choose from. Usually it's things that are low mess, not too sticky. So trail mix, granola bars, even some clementine fruit or banana, something that's just really easy to peel and eat. These are just some leftover trail mix pouches from our recent trip. But I think this is a must-have for traveling with kids. The other thing that will go along in this snack pack are baby wipes, right? Those are such handy, useful things to always have on hand for kids of any age. Wipe faces, wipe noses, wipe hands, just to kind of clean up messes or even get stains out of clothing. So that's another thing that I think is really helpful when you have kids in flight. If your kids are anything like mine, we have flown for many years, but have always tried things like chewing gum or gummy bears or lollipops or any sort of sticky, chewy candy to help kids' ears when there is takeoff and landing and there's pressure issues. My oldest daughter has always had a hard time with her ears. They just never want to cooperate when flying. And we tried all the traditional tricks, but nothing worked. So I invested in something called ear planes. These are small plastic earplugs that help balance the pressure and equalize the pressure inside and outside the ear. And so we put these in on takeoff and we put them in it again on landing. And these have worked like a charm in minimizing her ear pain when flying. They do sell them in adult size. So if there's any adults that really struggle with their ears, these are great. And they do make them in a pediatric or kid size to fit those smaller ear canals. So this is a must when traveling. And it comes in a really neat carry case. So we always have one or two of these when we're flying for my daughter. All right, parents, let's be real. When you're flying with kids, all of those things I just showed you may be wonderful, but they may not last, especially if you're on a long haul flight. Long haul flights are those flights that are just very, very long. They may even be a red eye flight flying overnight where your kid may not necessarily want to sleep. So there's always room for electronics, right? You always have to have a tablet of some sort, a phone, an iPad, a laptop. Now, we only have one. We don't do a lot of screen time in our family. So my kids know that when we fly, they get screen time. We try to exhaust all of our other activities first and save the screen time for last. But let's be real. Sometimes the screen has to come out early on in the flight just to keep mama happy and keep kids happy. So don't be afraid to utilize your electronic devices. If your kids are into video games or handheld devices, pack them, bring them, be prepared. Those are just so helpful in keeping everybody calm and smooth sailing while in flight. One thing I will say about flying with tablets or devices is that sometimes you'll find that the aircraft that you're on may not be equipped with Wi-Fi. And let's say it is equipped with Wi-Fi, it may not work beautifully. So do be sure to download ahead of time before you get to the airport any movies or TV shows that your little ones may want to watch, so that they can keep themselves entertained should Wi-Fi not work. So that's something that we always have tuned up here on our iPad. The other thing to keep in mind is that some aircraft are equipped with seat back entertainment systems, right? There's a little TV screen in the seat back in front of you. If you happen to be on one of those flights, but you only bring wireless headsets, you're out of luck. So you do want to make sure that you pack a good old-fashioned pair of wired headphones that have the plug at the end, right? These are really important because if your tablet doesn't work, if it dies, anything could happen. At least your little one can plug their headset right into the seat back in front of them and watch whatever you allow them to watch. These particular headphones I love. I got these, I think, at Target. I can leave the link in the description box below, but I love them for multiple reasons. Number one, they're very flexible, right? They can bend, the kids can twist and step on them. They're not going to break. Number two, they're very, very soft and cushioned, very padded. So if your little one is going to be watching TV for a long time, you want them to be comfortable, these are great and soft on the ears. And number three, they are collapsible. So they expand out and they adjust for any kid's head size. But when you're done and you're ready to pack them up, they shrink down and they pop back in just like this and collapse to a very small handprint. You can see it's just the palm of my hand. So we love these headphones for that reason. The other thing I will mention that my other little one has on her headphones is a volume adjustable button. A lot of people forget that aircraft have a lot of ambient noise, right? There's a lot of background noise. And so just because your kid has headphones on doesn't mean they're going to be able to hear what they're watching clearly. So I've always advocated for parents to get a volume adjustable headset. That allows the child to turn up the volume or turn it down when needed so they can hear what they're watching without any issue. Last but not least would be a headphone splitter. So my little ones have always used this little splitter. We only have one iPad. They share it. My kids are close in age. So they're into watching the same thing. So if that works for your family, this is a great way to cut down on having to bring multiple devices. You can bring one and share. Each person's headphone just plugs right in here to the splitter. So very easy, plugs right in, and you can plug in up to 5 devices at one time. And then this end plugs right into the iPad or tablet or whatever device. Everyone can listen in and watch at the same time without any issue. So these are just some things that we have found that are really helpful when we're flying with our kids and when we're traveling. It makes it so much easier for mom and it makes it easier for kids. And as I always say, a happy mommy, happy kids. So if any of this information has been helpful for you, please like and subscribe. I have a lot more content coming on just traveling with kids and just different tips and things to share with you all. Feel free to share this video with anybody who you know may benefit from watching it. And please feel free to share in the comment section below what are some tips or tricks that you have found that have really helped you when traveling with your little ones. Until next time, happy safe travels.